So let's just take a few deep breaths together and bring ourselves right into this center of your heart, allowing your heart space to open and expand to create that gentleness within it for yourself, being compassionate, loving, and kind. And just really dropping down from whatever busyness you had going on this morning so that you can truly be here for yourself. And whatever we cultivate here today is useful with those around us when we do go back out there into the world, even as much as you will today in your home or wherever that may be. Become aware of all that's going on in your body. There might be some physical ache from stress, busyness, or the lack of busyness. And then in the quiet of your breath, slowing down the thoughts, cultivate whatever it is that is your intention this morning. Maybe it's different than yesterday or the last time you came to your practice. And then bring the palms together with that intention at your heart, placing it there in your whole self with your heart, mind, body, really cultivating that intention, whether it's something that you need to gain or you need to let go of. And when you bring your hands down, we're going to come into a little twist. So if you want to leave your legs crossed, you can do that. Or you can straighten the legs or bend the legs in any way that you want to sit to do a brief twist just to unwind ourselves. And then breathe in whenever you're ready. And we'll just hold this and breathe while anybody's still moving around to get to where they want to be. Just feeling what it's like to have your arms extending. Does that have any meaning? On the out breath, we're going to twist to your right. However you want the hands to help you, the legs, lengthening, turning each vertebrae as well as they can in this moment. When you get to that next in breath, lift and center again, and exhale the other way. When you are at the next in breath, begin to come up with the arms centering and down to the heart again. If your legs are bent, you can straighten them in front and just shake out and feel what's there in your legs, knees, feet. Okay. You can draw the sit bones back and wide, tail back, leveling off or feeling as though it's a little bit forward tilted even, and reach out into the legs. The knees can still be bent if you know that the back of your legs are tight today. And breathe in and lift the arms, the energy. Out breath, forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Using strength to get what length you can wherever that's possible. Feel each breath creating movement, possibilities. In breath, come up. Exhale. Let's leave your right leg forward, bend the left, and this time instead of we're not going to do this yang like that one we just did. So we do this softer with more yin energy. So you can have the foot more out by your knee if that helps that leg be in a little gentler rotation. You can support it. You can sit on on the edge of your blanket if you like, still, and breathe in, lift out and up, gathering, and exhale, letting go, using the muscles just for the first few breaths till you know you've hit that edge. It might be sooner than 3 breaths. And then begin to bring the belly in and let this be a yin pose, letting go of the muscles everywhere that you can on each breath. So as I continue to breathe, it might be letting go little bit with each out breath. So eventually, maybe not contracting, tightening any muscles, with the exception of the belly. You can pull it in. Sometimes it feels like that eases the stretch in my pelvis or lower back. So just deeply releasing, letting go into that. Maybe it's an intense stretch. Maybe it's easy. As we're hanging out here, feel how it changes. What what else do you need to do? Anything? Maybe not. So I just pulled my arms back so that my hands are behind me, and that's keeping me from using the arms to hold myself up because I don't really need to at this point. While you're in this forward just hanging spot, you can you can lift yourself just a little bit and maybe aim your head, turn your shoulders over to the left so that you might be in between uh, the knees more, and maybe your chin is directly in front of your pelvis or your forehead if it's hanging down. And breathe in. You can roll up if that doesn't hurt. Straighten when you get there. And then bring that knee up and straighten the leg. All right. And then the other side, same drill. Okay, get the leveling, the length using the muscles again. Move anything around if, hanging your head forward caused your neck a little stress. Breathe in, pull it up, and exhale. Again, let the hands come down as soon as you can and use them as much as you have to allow the body to move slowly into that. Sometimes is if you've got a lot of tension in that fascia, don't just push into it. Allow the body to go there instead of force. Be kind. Be gentle with yourself. Still challenging yourself. You can still be gentle. Just letting go. Dropping down. Rounding over. Limp. Complete body relaxation except for the stretch. Smooth, soft, luscious breath. Let your upper back fall apart, open as it can when you stop holding the muscles. And then if you want, go ahead and lift your body just enough to move it slightly, head in front of the pelvis and shoulders, maybe in line with that bent leg, foot and knee, a little bit more that direction. Again, when you can, just let that breath soften, a couple more breaths, and then we'll come up. On the in-breath again, you can start using the muscles of your back, your belly, to come up and lengthen. And when you can, lift that knee and straighten the leg again. Anybody's nervous system feel a little more calm? That's the main reason I do as many forward bends as I do, I think. I just cool down the excitement that's in my body somewhere. All right, so let's come down on your back just for a moment, and we'll just do some rocking on the back, so you can really get a big rock forward if you want, so that you're almost sitting up forward again, or however works. If you want to just be on your back and rock your knees in and out, you can do that with or without the hands. And maybe when the knees are coming towards you, you could just lift the head. I've got my arms out doing it that way. But I know some of us like to do the the massage roll of coming down, lifting the feet up. It's a little more energetic. And boy, it gives the back a nice stretch into the same places it was going in the posture when I bring the hips up. And then while you're on your back, just flatten out, straighten out, lengthen into your toes, up through the hip. You can minimize the the curves if that feels better than letting them be what they want to be. And just feel grounded across maybe the ribs, upper back, shoulders, and reach out with the hands, not straight out. Bring them down almost to your side, and just move the hands out so they're maybe a few inches beyond the edges of your mat. Let your neck lengthen, the neck soften. And breathe. You're in pentacle, so we're just absorbing some of the yin stretches. Maybe we're absorbing them and guiding them into those places that they touched more internally than just the fascia in your arms, legs, and back, but into the organs. So sending and guiding, envisioning the healing absorption through the organs, belly, back, chest, throat, even the mind, the brain. Letting go as we absorb those meridian vibrations that are running through all the layers of us. And perhaps we can begin to feel ready or willing, at least, to let go of our stress, physical, mental, emotional, psychological, however it's affecting you. Let ourselves be in a healing zone while we're on our mats. So that we have more of that when we finally come to the end of our practice, that we can come into the day in a different way. All right. So when you're ready, just bring your right leg in and gently hold it. Hold it like your child, loving your inner child. And you can let go of holding it and let the leg come up. You can wiggle your ankles, toes, bend the knee, whatever you need there. And then energize both legs back. On the in breath, bring that leg all the way down to the floor. One in breath. And as it resettles there, you can bring the left leg in. Hug it gently, lovingly, like you're hugging that inner child. The part of you that needs that extra comfort. Little hug, kiss on the cheek. And then you can bring that leg up. And on the out breath, bring it all the way down using strength in both legs, back, arms even maybe. Yay. Relax your glutes, soften the leg again. So when you're ready, you can get the feet on the ground, roll to your side. Take another deep breath before you lift up. And when you do come up with gentleness for your back or anything else that's going on. And then we'll get those blocks up at the front of your mat. Have a blanket handy nearby. And we'll come up to standing up at the front in Tadasana. Whoa, what a switch of energy that is, huh? So come up into this slowly and then move anything that you need. So I'm gonna give my back a little extra twist there. So you might make some circles, doing that rolling circle. You can have the hands on your body somewhere if that feels easier, or letting the arms hang, and roll the opposite direction. Give it a curl and stretch somewhere. Maybe open up anything that's left that's a little tense. Great. When you get to the front, just stand facing the end and find your Tadasana. Is your Tadasana smack together with your legs? I know a couple of you do that. And then some of us like to just put the outer heel maybe in line with the outer hip or thigh or knee, somewhere in there. So you feel more stable sometimes if the feet are slightly apart. You feel the length coming up, the energy elevating to do more movement practice, more physical, muscular. Remembering that we're still, even though the flowing postures are generally, even when we're holding them, there's, we're affecting the muscles, the ligaments, the fascia, all the joints. So continue to be loving and kind to yourself. Just send yourself another big wish of that you won't force yourself, but you will challenge yourself so that you might grow an eighth of an inch in that posture, whichever one's your challenge. Maybe most of them are. Breathe in, reach out and up, lifting that energy that surrounds you. Exhale, send it out around your body, down to your feet, so you're encompassed in your little warm cocoon bubble, whatever you like to feel it as. So you have this support right here on your mat. So bring the arms out and up again. And this time we'll fold. Forward bend, Uttanasana. Kick the heels out or the hips out a little bit if you need to get that tail lifting up and the head back, lengthening down. Don't round and push. There's some rounding. Be soft in that area. Next in breath, extend head in front of the hips. So really get the body kind of in that right angle stretch. The arms can still be straight and they're just higher up on your leg. Roll those shoulders back so that maybe the shoulder blades kind of kiss each other. And then bend the knees, drop your hips, move the knees back, lift the chest. So press with your arms to really lift your chest more, bring the hips down. A little more down. Lift the shoulders and the head again. So straighten your arms. Have them up on their thigh. Straighten. So when we put the hands near the thigh or even down at the knee, I'll get my body straight there, and then I might even bring the hands near the hips so that I can draw the shoulders back, drop the hips down, bring the knees back a little bit. So I'm not really like a chair, but I'm kind of Got a couple of right angles going almost. Bring the arms up in line with your ears if that's okay on your back. And hands down again. Let's step back to plank. And find those supports for your hands, wrists, shoulders, and your back. Lengthen onto the balls of the toes so that drop your hips just a little bit more. Yeah. And so push into the heels. When I push into the heels, that kind of moves my shoulders back a little bit more onto the wrist. But so if that's painful, you can be a little bit more on the toes. They're still curled under. This posture gives you the strength to do chaturanga. So if you've worn out all your strength right here, put your knees down and then move your belly forward, shoulders back so you've got that straight line from the knee to the shoulder, and then down. It's a cobra if you like, or a sphinx, or an up dog, or a seal. A lot of choices. So cobra, up dog, sphinx, seal, and come on down again. Hands in line with the chest, downward dog. So coming into downward dog, it's always available to kind of sneak in that little mini child's pose move. Sometimes it's just a soothing way to pause into that and keeps you from being in down dog so long too. You can walk the dog to open up anything in your legs or feet, or maybe it affects the shoulders too. And in this one, we're kind of grounding back towards the heels, feeling that energy rising right up into the tail. And right leg can lift. We'll come to high lunge. So while the back knee is up, just scoot into that and keep the hands down low. And if I stay down low while I'm getting the legs in position, then it's a good strong place to be. Maybe both arms can be up or not. And hands down. Hands could also be on blocks there. We're going to step, bring the back knee down, and then rest on front of the foot there for a low lunge. You can lift up again. And notice where the energy feels different. I feel the back leg a whole lot more here. Yes, it's stretching. And hands down, we're going to do a twist, so the left hand will stay underneath the shoulder and arm goes out. Maybe it just floats straight back. So that arm might be horizontal with the floor, or that palm can be lifted facing away from you and the hand above your shoulder. Hand comes forward and down. So curl the back toes under, and we're just going to step back to plank again. And we're going to find that really sweet spot that you can breathe and be here. And maybe the heart rate speeds up a little bit because you're using a lot of muscles, possibly. I feel like I am. Breathing. And then we'll come down. So come to your knees if you need to. This is a long time plank, huh? And then lift up again. I'm trying to work on some strength here, can you tell? So we're just going to be in, yeah, cobra, up dog, sphinx, or seal. Nice. Nice. Yeah. And then slide back to downward dog. Sneak in that child's pose if you like that. We'll lift the left leg. Big step, high lunge, keep the back knee up. So when I get that foot way up front, I'm going to keep those hips down low so I can still be hands on the ground. And then I'll lift. Yay. Balance breathing. Yeah. Hands down. All right. So we can do a low lunge. Rest on the back foot, front of the foot. And coming up again. Drop the pelvis down, get that back bend going. Hands down. We'll leave the right hand here. And so if you can lift the back knee if you want to do this twist. The arm might be floating behind you. Keep that forward knee in line with the foot and the hip. Arm could be up, knee could be down. Hand comes down. This time we're going to bend into the back knee and scoot that foot in a little bit. Now you've got the push mechanism there on that leg. Big step, half, straight backs, arms and legs, and full fold. Hinge more at the hips. Get your head lower. And breathe in. Soften the knees. Come on up. Exhale hard. Okay, are we done with the flow now? So let's come up to the front of your mat again. Just feel centered and grounded. Breathe in, reach out and up. Let's give the chair pose another go around. Utkatasana. Hands down, full tilt. Let's bend the knees and step back to downward dog. So find that balance, the opening of the back, the shoulders, the strength, the ease in this posture. There's plenty of places that can feel a great sense of ease. It's a great inversion. It's the easiest one I know, other than child's pose, I guess. So we can lift the right leg. If you like to give the hip a twist, just save that twist for the leg and the hip if possible, rather than twisting the shoulders and chest around. We'll take a big step forward to warrior two. Great. Just landing that foot and lifting up. Aim that heel back at the heel or the arch. And then bending the knee, arms go out. Float straight off the top of the shoulders so that the shoulder blades sink down. Your body is straight up, reaching into the arms, finding balance, gazing over the right hand if you like, if you can. Knowing exactly what's happening on the other side that you're not looking at. That's the work. Sometimes we do need to turn our head and give it a check. Yeah, okay, it's where I thought it was. Good. And then we'll bring the forearm or the hand down. Either way, the hips are going to sink. Drop them. And then bring the arm up. Straighten the elbows and the wrist so that the arm is extending right near the head, but it's about out at the shoulders space. It's not leaning on my head. And when I come up, hand goes on that back leg, and I lengthen right arm up and over. And arms out. Straighten the leg. Triangle. Adjust through that left hip. Find that space so that feet are still synced in right where I was in the warrior posture. Straighten the side of the body a little bit more when you feel balanced to do that. So shoulders are in line with each other going upward. Body is kind of at the horizon, like your mat and the bottoms of your feet. You could look up at the hand if you're stable, unwobbly. We're going to lift up and let the arms come down. Oh yeah, the shoulders like that. And then scoot the back foot in, heel toe it a little bit. And then you'll pivot onto the back toes, the left one. And you'll be aiming forward. You're in a little bit of a lunge, maybe with the front knee bent or straight. And we're going to bring the hands down, take a big step forward, and fold. Stretch, lengthen, open. Breathe. Yay, breathe. And come on up, in breath. Out breath. Arms down. Let's breathe in again. Lift out and up. Exhale, fold. A brief chair. Lift. Tuck tail. Lift the heart. Knees back. Hands down. Downward dog. Long space. And left leg can come up. You can twist it if you like at the pelvis. And then big step to forward. Turn the back foot out to the side. And lift. Come up. And arms out. Turn your right foot straight ahead to the long side. And I'm sorry I'm not mimicking you here. There's a little something else going on here today. So yeah, so I didn't mirror you on that other side. I'm really sorry. And then I'm going to do it again. So just hear the directions rather than being able to look at me as your mirror. So we'll be both doing the same thing, and I'll be going the opposite direction of you. So that might be a little bit confusing if you're looking for that guidance on your screen in front of you. Bring the arms out and float straight out. Hug the belly in so your body feels straight. So do your arms, your legs. You're not pushing into the back of the knee like I generally do. That's why I usually say that again. And we're coming into triangle. So the hips are going over to the back side. Your hand is coming down onto that left leg. readjust the pelvis. There's room to move it around like I'm doing with my wrist. You know, you can tuck the lower tail in, your left one, tuck it under, and bring the whole right side of the pelvis a little more back, straighten the spine, get a sense, look around if you have to know where you are in space, those places that you're not gazing at. Sink those feet so you're solid, and we'll lift up. Arms out. You can let the arms come down for a moment. If you need a shorter distance for Warrior Two, you can do that. Little inching in a bit now. We're going to keep the hips, excuse me, still in line, straight across, shoulders, arms out. Bend the left knee. So if I'm going to go deeper, I'm going to crab my front foot, my left one, over to the end of the mat. And then, you know, I can do that gaze down just to make sure I'm not kind of twisted in something that doesn't feel like it is. Yeah. And looking out beyond the left hand, but knowing that your right side is aligned. If you're not sure, you can do what I just did is I'm still looking to the left, but I dropped my arm straight down and it touched the leg. So I was like, yeah, I'm right. I knew where it was. Hips a little lower if you can, challenge that. That might, when I lower the left hip, I might tighten that right glute just a little bit more. And then the arm can come down. When that happens, the hip drops. Boom. Push it down just a little bit more, and that straightens the thigh. Arm comes up alongside your ear. It's straight. Shoulders down. There's a big space between my head. Reaching into the fingertips, so I'm a thunderbolt of energy from the foot to the hand. And come up. Hand rotates over. You're bending into the right side, stretching it open again. Maybe your gaze is down at your back foot, in front of you, up at the hand or arm, and up, arms out. Keep breathing. Rest when you need to. All right, we're going to bring the arms down, scoot the feet in a little bit. And again, we'll do that pivot here. So you're facing the end of the mat now. Well, let's just soften the front knee enough that you can lean in and step forward. Maybe just slide that back foot in. It's easier than lifting it. And then standing right there at the front. Feel, loosen up shoulders or hip or anything else that needs it. Draw breath into it. So if I'm feeling a little ache in the hip or the knee or someplace, I'm gonna just breathe. Visualize that breath is going there to soothe that place. And it does. Magic. Great. Let's breathe in again. Lengthen out and up. And we'll come up to this side for this one. So we're going to leave the right foot where it is and bend the knees a little. And what the heck, let's do another chair. Kind of into that, trying to be able to do this pose a little bit better maybe today. Maybe that's what my body's saying. Let's see if we can master this pose eventually. All right. And straighten up again. We'll leave your right foot, bring the arms down and step way back. So you've got a long distance, but the back foot is only slightly turned out. So look down at it. If your heel or your toes, either one or both, are facing to the sides too much, toe needs to be more forward than not. So it's barely out. And that keeps my hip easily lined up here. The more that foot is turned, harder it is on my back knee to get my hips anywhere near, and then eventually I just don't bring it that far forward, so the posture is kind of squirrely, out of line, less balanced. In breath, arms come up, drop the shoulders, bend the forward knee, and get low again if you can. So it's training up those glutes, the balance. Your legs are getting stronger. That's why you're feeling them. And the heart rate might speed up a little. See if you can just get a couple slow breaths in there to soothe down that pitter patter. Straighten the leg. Arms to the side. You can drop them if they're worn out here. You can extend out into them. That helps. And then as they come down, you're lengthening. You might be touching blocks rather than the floor. And if it feels too long and it's hard to manage either the balance or the hips being side by side or the body and legs both all lengthening, arms lengthening as well, then change the distance between your feet, front to back. Shortening that sometimes is easier. Lengthening it might also work for someone else. Parsvottanasana, standing angled, forward fold. So we're at a complete setup for revolved triangle here. So let's do it. So you can have the right hand, wrist in line with the shoulder, and then you start turning upward to the left arm, lengthening it up. I'm sorry, will be your right arm up. So it's the opposite side. So if your right foot is forward, it's the left hand down. And you're gonna bring the hand down again. Soften the front knee, get on the back toes, get some energy bounce in that back leg and take a big step. Up to the front, lengthen forward and fold. In breath. When you're ready, come all the way up. And hands to the heart. And my apologies. Even though we've been doing this for 3 months, not having you in front of me, even looking at the mirror, I still, when I'm saying it for some reason and you're not here with me and I'm looking at you and trying to mirror it, I'm doing it goofy, like I'm saying one thing and doing something the other side. So my apologies. I don't know what's up with my brain. Something's weird. I think I just miss you all. You keep me together. So here we go again. In breath, arms up. Exhale, fold. And bend the knees. And then we'll have your left foot forward, I think, this time. And we'll step back to warrior one. So the front knee is bent when you're down there, and you can just get your body up, get the heel on the ground before you lift. Make sure that back toes aren't turned off too much to the side. You want to get those hips up there side by side, so the back of your pelvis, you can put your hand right there on the back of your waist, and it goes straight across, or on your belly, same thing. Arms go up, soften down in those joints in the shoulders, feel energy rising. Feel power in those legs. They're speeding up your heart a little bit, maybe. Maybe you're getting used to it, so it's probably pretty stable now. Right. We'll straighten up. Arms can go out. Still having the hips side by side is going to give you that forward bend. Parsvottanasana. Change the length between the feet. Square off the hips side by side, shoulders, hands across from each other. Bend as much as you can with the legs straight, and blocks are great, wonderful aids to give you a little bit longer arm so that you can worry more about straightening the body. And then if you need to just stabilize that distance more for the twist, your right hand is down, your left leg is forward, I think, and lift the arm. It's a full body twist. So my hips are trying to stay in the middle as the body revolves upward through the spine, balancing on that arm, both feet, core strength, twisting. Hand comes down. Get a little softness on the back of that knee, that forward one, and take a big step forward. Full fold. And in breath, up. Exhale, heart. All right. So let your arms come down and just be in a little bit softer Tadasana, mountain pose. Move anything. Notice what's there, what's been affected. And then as we come down onto the floor, if you want to come through the lowering with some squatting, more chair, or you can have the feet a little further apart, get the hips lower. Still coordinate with your body. Maybe you're still on the heels. And if you can, get the feet wide enough that you might be able to drop your hips down in between. And if not, just, you can stay up high and like this with the hips about in line with the knees, and just, maybe bouncing just a little bit slow. Do it slowly so you're really mindful of the joints. And then if you can bring the hips down a little bit. My toes turn out here to get all the way down. And lift up at the heart. So if your hands are in fold in front of you, so you don't topple over and roll down onto your back, just bring one hand down behind your foot, and then the other one, your bottom will touch that, and you can straighten the legs. See there, without falling, that's a good thing. And so let's just roll down onto your back. And you can have your knees up as you do that, so it's gentler on your muscles and stuff. All right. So do any lubricating there with some movement or adjusting to just be flat and catching your breath and letting your muscles relax. Catch a couple of big breaths if you can to really send a lot of oxygenated energy through you. And really empty it completely as much as you possibly can. And when you're ready, you can lengthen down into the tail and lengthen your entire back. Lift the knees over your pelvis. Extend the arms out. You can turn the palms up or down, whatever's happy. And We're just going to roll the knees over to either side. Your choice, which one you want to go to first. And let the feet and legs touch. Oh yeah, I got an adjustment there. That's good. And then if you want, you can leave the knees bent wherever the feet land and your spiral feels happy. Or you could straighten one leg out in front of your hip or both legs. And if it's easy enough to get a hold of a lengthened leg toe or two, go ahead and grab hold of something on your foot. And I got my big toes both actually. And then you can spread across to the other arm so that shoulder goes down. You're in a full spiral. Hopefully it feels like none of them are severely compressing or even very much at all. So that each vertebrae hopefully is getting a little spin, a little twirl. And when you're ready, let go of those legs, let them bend in and roll center onto the back again. Feet down. So if you thought that was a little off because you didn't shift your hips, go ahead and shift the hips for this next one. You don't have to. I'm not going to. Not going to do it this time. Such a rebel. All right, so when you get those legs down, you can hold them with the hand that's closed. And then you can get that spiral all the way up through the top of your spine, through the neck, right out through the crown of your head if you want. And that extended arm out is pretty flat and grounded. And then maybe legs go out, one or both or none. And hang on if you've got a toe that you can reach. Push a little bit into the toe, and that'll give strength and length. A little more pull through the legs. Don't be severe with it, just reasonable amount. This is all it takes. And spiral your neck as well. So hopefully your neck's not leaning over, crunching into one of the sides. All right. Let go of the toes, bring yourself onto the back, and just spread out there for a moment and breathe. So just be in whatever space or center you want to be. As I ring the bells, you can just soak in the sound of the bell while you're still on your back. You can set up at the end if you wish. And even if you choose to stay on your back, you can bring the palms to your heart if you're comfortable with that, or just leave your hands where they are. your choice. And just taking a breath in and out to through your heart, moving that heart energy into your mind, body more fully. The light in me acknowledges the light in all of you, which connects us again and again. Namaste.